Yeah.
So just like when you notice.
All right, welcome back, guys. You're tuning in to another episode of Levi in the Studio. I'll be your host. This is where music, entertainment meets conversation, and I've got a great lineup here today of really talented guests here. I'm your host, and if you love real talk, this is the place for it. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment below, and thanks for tuning in with us. All right, we got far over here, we got Kaleb. He's an R&B sensation. He's here to share us his new stories and updating us what's going on with him. We got Boi Jones coming in the house, in the building. And we got Stephen McLaughlin with the lads.
That's right, Pirate Steve.
We got some musicians in the building. I'm surrounded by a lot of talent here, guys. Welcome.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. No, we're here. You guys just met. We're friends. Everybody's kind of different dynamics here, but we're here on the internet, man. So we're here to get some things off our chest, showcase each other, give you guys your flowers, your upcoming projects, share your music, so everybody can hear. So let's get into it. Did you guys watch that tank fight? Did you guys watch the tank fight?
Man, bro, I watched the highlights.
I ain't even get a chance.
That boy was doing lunges across the ring. Y'all see him doing lunges?
No, I missed that fight.
Bro, he did one lunge. That was it.
It's a if you haven't seen it yet, we're gonna react to it here. But it's you know who Tank is, the boxer?
Tank Abbott?
No, the different Tank.
What's his name? I forgot his name.
I've been trying to get back into boxing.
Yeah, but old buddy punched him. I forgot his name at that point.
Okay.
He had a
Davis.
Yeah, he took a knee
Tank
during
Davis.
the fight.
What's his first name?
And
Gervonta.
And he
Gervonta Davis.
here we go. We're gonna get a reaction.
He looked tough though. Look at him.
This was last night in New York, in Brooklyn.
You know what it is? He lost the hunger, bro.
He's rich.
He lost his hunger, bro. He lost his hunger.
Is he the champion?
He has been, yeah.
Yeah, look at him.
At one point in his life.
What is he doing?
I know it's hard being the champ because you get to that top level and then they say that you kind of just lose that hunger. Like
I don't care what nobody say. Old buddy over here, he put hands on him.
Roach. Oh yeah,
Roach. Yeah, he was the Roach all night. That nigga was roaching him out.
Yeah, he's blasted though. Look at him, he's covered in tats everywhere, man.
And you would think that like your hunger would, when you get to the top, it would stay there because you want to stay at the top. You know what I mean? Like I'm the best now. I gotta stay at the best. Ain't nobody gonna take this from me.
That's the mentality that you can't lose.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And a lot of champions.
Once you get everything you want, though, what do you do?
Right.
That's true.
Right.
You get more.
Well, Floyd Mayweather is,
or just get comfortable.
Yeah. But Tank, you'll see it. He takes a knee, and then he gets back up and runs over to his corner, and he says that he had grease in his eye.
Where you get grease from? His hair?
Yeah.
Well, he's under the Floyd Mayweather coaching, so he's with Floyd's money.
Oh, it's Floyd's money that put him up.
Yeah, Floyd put him up. He beat Ryan Garcia,
And came up from there.
But these are featherweights. These are like little chicken biscuits, chicken littles.
Yeah, are we allowed to make fun of the size
these
of
are
them?
Chicken littles.
I don't know. He might fuck me up. But yeah, they're little,
You're
right?
allowed to say whatever's on your mind at any time.
Yeah,
Like,
lightweight. What is lightweight? Is that 165, 175?
It's not big enough. Yeah, it's like 130, bro.
Oh, dang.
I curl 130 times. I bench 130, 130 times, 300 times.
You still working out?
Bro, every day. What? Right. Whatever you don't use, you lose.
That's right.
He just
you can only keep what you can manage. That's it.
Hey, laundry's a workout sometimes,
Man.
So we'll let that get to where.
Yeah, let's see this.
Oh! You see the stumble though? Y'all seen the stumble? Yeah. That was Dance Dance Revolution. That was back square. He just hit him with the look, back.
All right,
square.
Yeah, okay.
Look. Fighters are so weird, dude. They always
hit him with the
smile when
square,
they get blasted. You ever notice that when a fighter gets punched, they kind of laugh and enjoy it. Look!
Oh, there's one line.
He took a knee and he's yelling over there in his corner.
He thought he can call timeout.
Maybe he got low blow or no.
He thought he can call timeout, fam.
Look, they're locked up right here, and
timeout. He couldn't do it with his hands because he had gloves on, so he did it with his knee.
Was that it? Or are you replaying it, Chris? Or? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I just wanted to just watch that one.
Get a quick little recap.
Sometimes they smile too because when you catch like a good punch.
Well, I'm what?
That's a good one.
All right then. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
but watch this.
That's a psycho mentality. It's like, here we go.
The thing about it is, bro, Tank was not moving around enough.
That's that referee with the crazy eyes. He always makes funny faces, or no? It's a different guy.
All right then. Okay.
Look, Roach fucking with him. He went up to him, hugged him.
Who won his fight?
So
I
that's how
ain't
they
watched
They gave it
so I
to
don't
they gave
know.
it to Roach, and that's a questionable call because
They call it a draw.
Oh, is it officially a draw?
Yeah, they call it a draw.
Oh, all right.
So nobody wins. They still get paid though, right?
Yeah, they still
We get paid today.
They get paid for
Does
showing
Vegas?
up.
I hope so.
When there's no winner, does Vegas like how does that?
That's
is it like
funny
a
how
push?
it might impact the gamblers, huh?
You get your money back or something? I don't know how that works.
No, you just bet on the draw. So if you bet they're gonna win and it's a draw,
Yeah,
you still lose.
Is that right?
Yeah, the fuck.
I'm
You
not-
said he was gonna win.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch
He did
Super Bowl?
win. Huh?
Did you guys watch Super Bowl or the Super Bowl performance?
I
Did
tried
you
to-
get
I ain't
to
gonna
see
hold
it?
you. I ain't gonna hold you. I mostly just watched it for the performance.
That's right. I remember you saying
I
that.
fell
Yeah,
asleep
like-
like right before halftime. I'm not gonna lie.
I ain't gonna lie, Kendrick.
That was a blowout.
It was a
So
long performance, wasn't it?
Kendrick
Kendrick?
just turned into a grave digger.
he,
You know, that nigga out here digging graves. Fuck with him if you want to.
What do you think about that?
I think it was a
Hey,
normal
hey.
length set.
You
What-
know, Drake been hot for 15 years, but it's been a team.
Right.
And for somebody to say, nigga, you been out here doing that shit for, we don't know how long.
Well, they gave Kendrick a Grammy for calling him a pedophile. They
You
put it
know.
on
Yeah,
Super
man.
Bowl. Do you think Drake's done? Okay, we got some. I think Drake might be done.
You mean pedals filed?
I don't
Pedals
think
filed.
Drake
There's a lot of
Drake is done.
pedals filed out
I don't
here.
think Drake is done. I think Drake just needs to accept the loss, you know, brush it off, accept the loss, and you know, move on and continue to do what he does, like make good music.
You know, I think
You
he's
know.
right on top of the button because there's many people that don't pick up the phone. That when he call, I think he understand that he ain't winning.
Have you heard Drake speak lately?
No.
He sounds like a whole other person.
Yeah.
He sounds like he put on a Caribbean accent. He doesn't even sound like him.
That's some of the shit that, you know, Kendrick was talking about, but you know, I think he just needs to accept
Culture
that L,
vulture.
accept
Culture
that L, and you know, and move on, make more music. He's still gonna have a amazing fan base. He's still gonna continue to do his thing. He's still gonna grow.
I mean, what I'm gonna say is like when you have like a beef like that, how does your beef even really? How's it on the radar or even like relevant if it ain't like, I mean, the most notorious beef we know, no pun intended, like, you know, they're not straight up blasting each other like Tupac and Notorious, like
Drake's suing him. And
that's
suing
him in court.
he's
Like
suing
that's
him back.
that's
Yeah.
a heavy beef, bro. It's like let's talk about like, is it really a beef if you guys even haven't sworn at each other, you know, or anything, you know? I mean, it just seems a little light, and then everybody starts throwing out the it's for publicity, you know, or it's to keep them both. Like,
It's been
on
exposed in the
top.
music industry of they
So, I
create
mean,
these wars or
Like,
fights.
is your question like, is it really an actual beef?
I know,
I mean,
I
there
know it's
is
an
a-
actual beef, but it's like to me like, you know, it kind of gets a little squirrely because it doesn't seem because the whole hip hop beef thing started at such a high. It seems like it's just kind of just done this where it's just like now you're just like, oh man.
I tuned out of it when it first was going on.
You know what it
tuned
is?
out.
Lil Wayne destroyed rap music. That nigga came up with bars so heavy and entertaining. There's nobody else that can compete with this nigga.
Right.
So now it's like, all right, producer, we need some magic because, you know, there's no nigga like Lil Wayne. So where does rap go from there?
Well, like on brand new,
Motherfuckers start
Rap Boy Blue?
brand new when you
They
hear
start
people-
doing all this other shit.
They should
when you
come
hear
around
people
with
get
that.
offended.
I'm brand new when he goes, oh, this motherfucker don't miss, and he's
Hey.
fucking good. Like he kind of just has that like, he is very creative, and I think it's maybe because didn't he go to Harvard or something?
Lil Wayne?
Yeah, he went
He,
somewhere.
went, he,
Oh,
went, he,
Lil-
went, he definitely went to college. I think he studied like English and everything.
Yeah, that's why he's just this, you know,
he's-
incredible lyricist.
Yeah,
He's one of my favorites.
yeah.
But all I'm saying is like, it's not. I'm sure they probably sold a lot more records. I'm not throwing out no shade, but like at the same time, you know, it just seems like
It was produced.
well, not produced, but just like it. Is it that like big of a? Should it be like? Should we give it so much attention?
It's
you know?
all
Honestly-
it's all of the above.
I think Drake should have stuck with the singing Drake because the shit
That's what he
talking
said.
and then getting your abs done.
Did he get that?
Don't talk shit and then go get your abs done.
Yeah, he got his abs done. Yeah, yeah.
Don't
Well,
you can't talk shit
allegedly.
about
I
anybody
personally
in
don't
there.
know.
But if
Just
you're not
the
in the
information
gym
that I
getting it,
received.
you can't talk shit.
Oh,
You have no right to talk shit.
There's another rapper that came out.
You definitely can't be
that's
getting your
saying
abs
that
done.
Drake stole his bars, bar for bar.
Oh, bro, I heard the song. It was on SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm.
Culture
yeah.
Vulture.
Yeah, Drake
Caw,
stealing
caw,
people.
caw.
So then, as you're writing, you know, you guys are all writers and do your own thing. Is it hard to not be influenced by other people? And do you catch yourself like writing and making a song like, dang,
You know what it
where
is?
does this come from?
So the key, me personally, my key is I don't listen to nobody.
right.
I listen to
I noticed that.
instrumentals.
You get in my
Damn,
car, I
that's
listen.
old.
I don't listen. I don't want to hear nobody influence me about how you feel about anything.
Right.
All right,
Now, if I'm in the gym and I'm working out and I want to be entertained, like, you know, I
Who do you
listen.
put on? Who do you play?
Yeah, I listen to all types of stuff, bro. Christian rap, R&B music, you know, a whole bunch of stuff. You know, it just
Do you care about who you listen to in their personal life, or you just keep it music?
for sure you got to, because whatever they say, you gonna try to imitate that.
I got a more stressed out response to that. I have my influences that I've had in the past.
Who name some of your
You
influences?
know, Lupe Fiasco.
All
I
right.
personally believe he's like one of the greatest lyricists of all time.
What happened to, not to cut you off, but what happened to him? I thought
You know,
he was
I can't
gonna-
really say what happened to him.
He
I
just,
think
like, disappeared or
I think
something.
he said too many things that you know certain people didn't like, and
He was
The
dating Puff
industry
Daddy's
wasn't
girl.
supporting him.
and that snuffed him.
That's weird.
The streets supported him,
I
but
think-
the
I think
industry
that's what
wasn't
happened.
supporting
I
him.
dug
He
on
was
him
dating
hard,
Cassie.
man.
He was
I
dating
don't know
Cassie
who he
on the
was-
low,
I
and then
don't- I
Puff
don't- I
Daddy
don't
did a
know.
car bomb and tried to blow up his car.
That was Kid Cudi.
Oh, that wasn't Lupe?
That wasn't Lupe. That was Kid
Oh, my
Cudi.
bad.
Was that real? I heard that.
Did
that
Kid
was,
Cudi
that
date
wasn't real.
Cassie?
I mean, there's rumors. I don't know all the information. You know, I'm just going off of what I heard, just like y'all. You know, but
Can you believe all these niggas under 6 foot too? That's crazy.
So Lupe's a
All this attention, all this y'all
Hey,
niggas.
yo.
Lupe, like that
I'm not hating, but damn,
his kind of
man.
art, it kind of touched me a little bit, and I remember being like, you know, like when it came out, I thought he was just.
you know what it is
blow
because
up.
he came out around the time where, you know, the internet was like kind of a new thing for rappers
Sure.
to promote themselves, or just like musicians or anybody in general. And then he capitalized off of that. And then, you know, what he was saying was a lot more potent than a lot of other artists.
Yeah.
Man, and not just that, he was a nigga skateboarding, and he dropped his shit right around
Exactly.
Tony Hawk Pro
Exactly.
Skater came out on Nintendo.
Okay.
So
Who made rappers skateboard popularized?
I don't
I'll
know,
say
but we
Pharrell.
always wanted to see a nigga on the
Probably Pharrell,
skateboard.
'cause
We always
Pharrell
wanted to see
skateboard
that.
Pete, right?
Pharrell
that's
did.
right.
He
Pharrell
was
was
doing
right.
around. Yeah, he
We
was
always
doing
wanted
around
to-
the time. But at the end of the day, you got to look at like, you know, I would say it's probably different points in time to where, you know, things become popular. Because, you know, I can't say it's just one person. I personally don't say it's one person because I don't know. But there's Pharrell, there's Lupe. There's
Lil Wayne.
that black dude at DGK. What's I don't know his name.
Shabuski,
I don't know his name.
the nigga that did the he just performed at the
Right.
at the Grammys.
I don't know
The
his
black
name.
dude with the, you know what I'm talking about? The black dude, the country singer.
I
I know who
don't.
you're talking about. I know who you're talking about.
Shabuski.
Yeah.
I don't know because
Is that Shabuski?
I don't listen to anybody.
never heard of
for
that guy.
Yeah,
What?
influence.
you're on the right track.
Yeah, I don't know because I personally don't listen to a lot of people for influence anymore.
do
I
the
listen
same thing?
to yeah, I do the same thing. I listen to myself. You know what I'm saying? I listen to my experiences and I vibe off of my past inspirations and go from there.
I do listen to audiobooks, and I got
Try
a
to push-
book I'm
push the-
reading. And
So when did
Try
you,
to push the margin and shit.
when did both you guys start writing? Because I want to touch on both y'all said, but when did you guys start writing music? Like actually start writing lyrics?
bro, so this is crazy,
putting it
right?
Together.
I used to listen to Ludacris. I was like 9, 10 years old.
All right.
I'm listening 30's time, grill, pretty, fish fried up, 35.
I like.
That was a
I'll be
hot
in a
song. That
bathtub
was a
now.
hot
I'm a
song.
kid. I'm like 30 down here.
He had cool music.
And what
videos,
I would
too.
do, bro, is I'd mix different words.
Okay.
And I'd like fucking, you know.
Josh isn't in, or
Put
Caleb's
different
not
words.
into hardcore rap. Like he does when he gets in my car, he doesn't want to listen to my rap. He likes he don't want he you know. It's
Yeah, because
it's
I'm
negative.
honestly I have so much aggressive energy.
It'll
I
trigger
don't
you.
I don't I'd rather just keep that shit
So,
down.
so your guys' influences came when you were younger, but then when you started writing, you kind of like more so went into like a seclusion, like type state.
I
or-
write off experience.
Okay.
And then also write based like I've written songs that, you know what I'm saying,
That hit song Bounce.
I'm
that
painting
was based on
I'm
true
painting a
events.
picture.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just painting a picture, and the picture might not even be exactly what happened, but it might be like the picture would represent what happened.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, because
Illustration.
like okay,
Yeah.
so when I grew up, I listened to everything. I was exposed to just everything, like hip hop, rap,
Same here. Same
old,
here.
old Western stuff.
Same
not
here.
this new shit they're calling country nowadays, but like the real country. A lot of
Said
like
the real country.
classic rock, like 90s R&B, 80s, like you know, like Luther, Prince. Like I was my Phil Collins, that was my stuff. So then I was a piano player, so like writing songs and lyrics wasn't even on my radar. Like it wasn't even ever a thought. And then I kind of got thrown into like the lead singer role when I was working at a restaurant, and like I was like 19 years old. So a lot of the initial stuff that I wrote, like being thrown on the spot and having our band kind of like blow up as fast as it did, you could kind of hear a lot of my influences and a lot of the stuff that I wrote, and I was getting like notes from some of my bandmates like, hey, this sounds a little too much like Danzig, this sounds a little too much like Korn, this sounds a little too much like, you know,
you always gonna get those comparisons.
Yeah, and so I remember being like, dang. So then I kind of did what you guys said, where once that band, you know, because it was such a high so quickly, you know, and having a song like on the radio and then in a movie and then talking to like labels and then it all just like fell apart. After that, I very much went into seclusion and like kind of just went into lone wolf mode.
You gotta
and
find yourself.
That was when I started writing some of my best shit. Was when I just stopped listening to everyone else and just like put some stuff together that was just like blowing my mind. I was like, I wrote this shit. That's not good. So, and then also with rock, you got to learn how to like, you got to figure out how you want to deliver it. So it's kind of like it lays on the backbone of like the notes and the progression. So then like, because you know with I think with R&B and like rap, you can spit and then you can like harmonize. But like that's why I like what you said about Drake. You should go back to singing Drake because he's like our modern like Nate Dogg, where he kind of is in between. He doesn't really rap, he doesn't really sing. He kind of has that middle ground. And Nate,
I agree.
Nate
that's
had that
kind of crazy.
dude.
You say that.
He was the first dude where people were like, he's not auto tuned. But
he's more like Fate Dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he fucked around and he about to find out.
But if you had Nate if you had a Nate doing your hook or your chorus, you were guaranteed to go.
You hard, yeah. And that's what Lil Wayne said. As long as we got Drizzy on the Drake, as long as we got Drizzy on the hook, we good.
Right.
He said that shit a long time ago.
So it's like with rock, you kind of gotta like, do I blast this part of the chorus? Do I let this part rhyme? Like, how's it gonna bounce off the rest of the instruments? And I feel like sometimes with rap and hip hop, like the way that some of these beats bounce and these dudes will like just bang the chorus and the hook off of it, it's just like, dude. So it's like you go into this mindset where you don't want to sound too much like something else, but you know the energy you want it to have, and then you feel like if you know there are some last minute changes.
I think that's your influences, who you listen to. I think that's a good foundation to start with. Like with your inflections and your tonality, the sounds you choose and all that. But eventually you do go into seclusion, and then you find your own route, your own path. You start to push the margin. You start to see, oh, can I mix this instrument with this instrument? What if I do X, Y, and Z? What's gonna happen? You know, that's when you like start making your best music.
Well, they say
when you go into intrusion and conclusion, and there's a perfusion. what we tend to do is hold on.
We knew what you meant, dude. It's all good.
Hold on, because when you put an apostrophe up there, it means something different.
I hear you.
Yo,
all right, so
I watched a funny interview with Pharrell the other day.
The vortex of the trifex of the yeah, I got you. It's like you said, it's art.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Well, it's okay with art, like you said, you take a little bit of everything like that you like and that you vibe with, and then you put it together to kind of form your own stuff, because you do want to be like
it's like making a sandwich.
Everything.
Well, yeah.
Everything.
You can't just make it with one ingredient, right?
Everything is inspired from something else.
Yeah.
Everything comes from something else.
Absolutely.
You know?
I came from a monkey.
Pharrell did a funny interview the other day.
No, really though.
They were talking about
me and my monkey.
Pharrell hates the sound of his own voice.
You see the video?
Pharrell sounds just like Mickey Mouse.
But stop talking to me, bro.
I'll say something about Pharrell. When I got into music at a pretty young age, someone tipped me off on NERD. Before it went like somewhat kind of mainstream. And I remember being like, all right, this is cool. And it just had this like underground kind of feel.
Virginia shit.
And then I remember when like
I was living out there.
I was listening to Lap Dance once, and this guy goes, dude, this thing's about to pop off in the club. And then you went to any club and they were bumping, I'm an outlaw, quick on the draw. And then right after that, Khalees came out and did Truth or Dare. That bum 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 bum. And I remember being like, "Oh my God!" There was no question why he went into producing, because it's like that's just in his blood, his vibe.
Well, let's talk about Pharrell.
He started like right out of high school, from what I read. Like he was always making music. He was drum shaker, man. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, it's fire.
He did produce, and he's like in charge of Louis V right now too. Like,
yeah.
But Pharrell, he got sued big time in the music industry.
By who?
Remember that?
I don't remember that.
Pharrell got sued big time.
I also missed the McRib this last season at McDonald's, but I missed a lot of shit. But I didn't get that.
No. Pharrell got sued.
Seasonal.
Oh, it was by.
Google,
You know what it was?
Who
It was.
sued Pharrell and why? What song?
It was. What's his name from?
Marvin
Motown.
Gaye.
Marvin Gaye.
And he
it was
sued.
because of.
Marvin
By the
Gaye.
melody that he used.
Marvin Gaye sued Pharrell.
Okay, no, he sued Robin Thicke and Pharrell, but Pharrell produced it, so he sued him primarily, and it was for that song that
$5 million.
What's that song that he did? That
Blurred Lines.
Blurred Lines ripped off the
You
beat
know
from
you
a song.
want
I'm in a party. Ooh,
You know what? You know what
Same
Pharrell
beat.
does wrong? He'll take your beat, what he does, and deconstruct it and re-engineer it backwards. So it's the same shit, but it's backwards.
Why
And
you think? But
you had
why
to
you
go
think
trial
he,
for it.
well, why you think he does? Why you think that's wrong though?
It's because it's an ingredient mix. If you
Nope.
have a patent on a cake
I don't want to hear that shit.
and you start with flour, eggs,
Nope.
water, and I go backwards with it,
It's different. It's completely
I don't-
different.
I,
Well,
yeah, 'cause I
music-
don't think that's
Completely
wrong. I
different.
don't think that's wrong.
Nope.
'cause, you know, you got people.
I think
straight
it's
out
respect and
like
acknowledgement that people
sampling,
want to
like,
fuck with your shit.
chop. You know, you got people sampling like straight out chopping loops from the original, beat from the original production. What he does is like, and this is what I believe because I never met Pharrell, and hopefully I get to work with him one day. But what he does is, I think he'll hear something and then he'll recreate it, in his own way, in his own mind.
well, he
And that's
unfortunately...
leaving your imprint.
But he'll use
You know what I'm
it
saying?
with like he'll recreate it with actual instruments.
So that's why I love NERD. They do
Yeah.
drums, bass, guitar, piano. Like they're not just like creating everything on a synth. It's pure. It's raw.
Yeah,
For real.
absolutely.
But also, I agree with you too. Like everybody steals from everybody.
Everybody steals from everybody.
But that's
so
coming
the
back
thing.
now, where you hear a lot of the stuff from the '90s being sampled in the new stuff. Remember all the stuff we heard in the '90s that was being sampled from the '80s? They were all about that, dude. Like, it's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder. That was "Don't Push Me" because I'm close to the. Yeah, and then it dropped with what was that? Mace, or whoever Mason. I don't. Mason Puffy, I think, did that.
Yeah, Puffy would always pay.
He snagged a lot of stuff.
But he would do it the right way, and that's why Puffy was
Absolutely.
so powerful. He
And
would
so
pay
does-
for the
so does-
sample, and
so
a lot
does
of
Kanye.
a lot of people don't pay for these samples.
I don't think he paid. I don't think he paid David Bowie for that. Let's dance, because it's that. Dun, dun.
He pays Sting $1 million a month for the Death song. Are we missing you? I'll be missing you.
What's the
Yeah,
one
he
that
pays
I'm-
Sting $1 million a month.
$1 million a month?
Guess what though?
Google that, dude.
He a phenomenal producer. Him, Pharrell, Kanye, Timberland.
How much does
All,
Puff Daddy
all
pay Sting for the
Dre,
sample?
Dr. Dre. I'm missing a lot of them. They all phenomenal producers.
$5,000 a day.
Well, okay, 5,000 a day.
$5,000 a day, he says.
But like, was it
For the rest of his
Juicy
life.
came from Juicy Fruit.
Yeah.
And then I remember like when I heard that, I was like, okay. And even in the Notorious movie, he says, I don't want to be rapping over no Donna
He pays,
Summers.
wait, time out. Hold that thought. He pays on $5,000 a day, every day,
Every day for the rest of his life.
for the rest of his life.
Pay Sting
Get out of here, dude.
for being able to use this song. Because he didn't buy it. He just leased it, $5,000 a day. So you have to navigate. As artists, you guys have to, like,
Yo, what's the math
you're
for that
trusting
per
your
year?
producer.
Yo, what's the math for that
I'm
per
trying
year?
to rack my brain. It's like,
Yeah, like,
150
hold on.
grand.
No,
it's 150 grand a month.
Yeah.
You're looking at like
150 grand a month times
Hey,
12.
Google,
Like,
what's 5,000 times
between 2 to 3 million?
365?
I was gonna say, yeah.
It's 1.825 million a year.
million.
But
And
I
it's
mean-
been out for 20 years.
Alright.
The original,
So
that's great,
I'll be watching you. A little creepy, but like, was it? Is
38
it worth
million?
it? Is it worth it? Yeah, I think it was worth it because I'll be missing you. Is like
38
an
million?
anthem,
Yeah.
So
About almost $3 billion.
3 billion.
Mm-hmm. 365, and then a bunch of zeros. Yeah, that's in the billion. So he's for Puff Daddy. Yeah, he's in jail. You guys want Puff Daddy's in jail? Do you think Drake had that other rapper killed?
XXX.
Triple X Extension. There's a lot of decoding
He was
going on
also
right
a
now.
phenomenal artist as
But he
well. I didn't want to
copied
give
off
him
and
a
stole
chance because he
I
was
think
a
once a
younger
fuck
artist
boy,
coming up.
always a fuck boy. It's just a matter of time before
right.
everybody find out, my nigga.
Let's talk about you guys and your music. Steven, you're in a band called The Lads, man. You got any shows coming up, or we'll put a link in the description. Check out your music.
yeah, absolutely. We have the day before St. Patty's Day, March 16th. It's a Sunday. We're gonna be in Corona at Crowley's Tavern, doing our thing. It's gonna be from about 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. and they got good food, got drinks. This was a band that we were pretty successful. I've kind of revived because during COVID, we were signed to this entertainment industry, not a label, but they put you on for shows and stuff. And then they kind of took a break. Everybody kind of took a break. No one had live music. And then they reached out and they said, things are kind of popping back up. So I did kind of bring this back. It's 90s classic rock. It's acoustic. So it's very similar to like when MTV had Unplugged. There's a lot of Alice in Chains, a lot of Nirvana, a lot of STP, some Pearl Jam, some, Chris Cornell and stuff. But it's very fun, a lot of sing-alongs. And then we do throw in some 90s stuff, like some one-hit wonder stuff so people can get down. Like we do No Diggity.
Okay.
We do Return of the Mac.
Okay.
Dope.
So it's fun,
Rat Boi Jones. How can we check out your music, man? What are you on platforms? Or you guys have so much to navigate as musicians. First, you got to trust your producer to give you a beat that you're not going to get sued on, right? Then you got to put your music out.
I produce my own beats.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't have a producer.
Yeah, I produce my own beats. I've been producing for like 15 years,
So you produce your own?
But I learned from the members because, if anybody sees this and they know who I am, they going to know that I'm like in a group called Ugly Face. Or was formerly. I'm formerly in a group called Ugly Face. But, back solo again recently. But, about 16 years ago, they taught me everything that I know, like off of Logic, how to produce, how to, rap, how to sing, how to, just put everything together, how to engineer, how to mix, how to master, like you name it, they know it.
That's a lot of power. Then you save a lot of money.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
And then you don't have to worry about your song leaking. So there's information.
Absolutely.
Because. Wow, man. Okay. So
I respect people so much more when they produce like all their own stuff. Like, you hear a DJ who composes all of their own stuff and they only spend their own stuff. It's like a lot more to me, a lot more rewarding, a lot more powerful. So I respect the hell out of that.
Kaleb, you're in and out of all the hottest studios in LA, man. You got a lot of really good music. You got anything upcoming? Any projects you're working on right now you want to share?
I got a project coming out, man. I'm at like 5 songs on there. And it's cool because they're gonna be like dance songs, and then I got some songs on there just based on like my personal experience. You know what I'm saying? And being a guy, we deal with women, so my experience has been with women. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure there's a lot of mutual ground there. So yeah, man, I'm gonna be dropping it here soon. We're looking at May, so I'm gonna have it out by the end of May. My name Kaleb on Instagram, and yeah.
Shout out to Kaleb. Shout out to Blue.
We gonna get it.
Shout out to Pharrell. No, I'm just kidding.
Pharrell sounds like Mickey Mouse.
For real.
It's funny you said that though, because I heard a statistic that like
I seen that.
Almost 90% of all songs are written about love. It's the most written about topic when it comes to music.
Who's your favorite musician right now? Do you listen to anybody or nobody?
My favorite musician or artist?
Who's making music that you listen to? Who? Because I know you don't want to be influenced by nobody right now.
So my playlist I've been listening to lately is kind of weird, but it's like
let's get weird.
1K Few.
1K Few, I've never heard.
Yeah, 1K Few. He's a gospel rapper.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from Atlanta. He's hard. And I was listening to this dude named Mouthpiece. He's from Chicago.
I heard of that.
He got some bars.
I heard of that guy.
He was doing his thing. His name's Mouthpiece.
Okay. Mouthpiece.
And I got
I love hearing about.
I was listening to Party Next Door. You know what I'm saying? He got some vibes.
Why does that sound familiar? That sounds so familiar. Party Next Door.
He writes for Drake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I've seen that name before.
Yeah.
So I got into when I was trying to write a little bit more aggressive stuff. You ever heard of the South African group? They're called Antwoord, and it's like a guy and a girl, and they do like some weird stuff. They're next level. The guy's got this weird haircut. They were in that movie Chappie. It's Ninja and Yolandi, and they do like Ugly Boy, and they do like it's some different stuff, dude. They have a story about Drake, by the way. We should pop that on. It's hilarious. So they kind of blew up. And I'm sure you've seen the dude. He's got this weird
What's
flat
his
top.
name?
It's called Antwoord. And the song you probably heard is one that's like, "Ooh, I love my ugly boy." So it's very like it's a banger. But then they do a lot of other weird stuff there, and their art is very off. But they're doing their own thing, so they're very unique. And so I found out that the dude Ninja was in this underground rap group in like South Africa, and I never heard anything like it. It was so underground, and it was so even like when you watch the video, it looks like it's underground. And it was like aggressive, but it was just like it had swag. And it was just like very unique. It's DI. Yeah, it's the top one. Yeah, Dion's word.
I like being early on artists.
Put on,
know?
on Ugly
I do
Boy.
too. I like-
or
I like
yeah, the
putting
Drake
people
story's
on.
hilarious. Throw that
you
on
you
first.
listen to any artists right now that you?
Right now, I'm more so
You're in your own zone.
in my own zone, but like, you know, when I riding out in the car and everything, I listen to a lot of Larry Jones, Currency. I still listen to like Wiz Khalifa. I throw on like my old inspirations and stuff like that. Then I say like Lupe and but I listen to a lot of Larry Jones these days.
Larry Jones.
Larry Jones. He
Larry
from
June.
he from
Larry Jones.
he from San Francisco. He from the Bay Area.
Okay.
Yeah, he real vibey. He like a positive rapper. I wouldn't say he a pimp, but
You're a positive pimp.
he a
Oh,
positive,
he's a positive pimp.
he a
He'll give you a pep
he
talk and get you
positive
going.
rapper, man.
He gets the hose with a pep talk.
He's a
Nah,
positive pimp.
he'll put you on, man. Like he tell you how to get your finances right. You know what I'm saying? Be healthy. He like one of them healthy rappers and all types of stuff. You gotta check him out.
You don't really hear that too often in the rap game.
Nah,
you know?
nah. But he about to.
You ever get down with like Leon Bridges? He's a little more jazzy.
What does that name sound?
He has that song "Bad Bad News," and it's like a jazz band.
Oh, the bad news. Oh yeah, I know that one.
It's like ain't nobody gonna tell you on.
Hey, he a newer artist, ain't he? Or
newer
he a newer.
with the style and grace. And just
Yeah,
keep the face.
Nah, he's in my playlist.
Oh yeah, I got
Yeah.
bad news.
Yeah, he in my playlist.
Very
yeah.
very. I love that. It's just like it's positive.
It's the
but
dun dun dun
Yeah, dun, dun.
dun. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, yeah. I
I know
listen
you
to
wish.
yeah.
I know you
Oh,
wish.
you
I
know
would
what?
fade
Yeah, yeah.
away.
Bro,
More to say.
you
That's cool.
could link with them and do some rap and shit over there. And they can give you a little, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can connect and
Yeah,
Well,
we
he
can do something.
kind of
bro,
reminds
he
me.
likes live drums and that's
Okay,
his
so it
vibe.
reminds me of like a Bruno Mars band where like
Yeah.
you get the shout back from the band.
Uh-huh.
So he says like, "Let me slip through. Why you trying to hold me back? I'm gonna do my best." Hey, like it has this like kind of. It's very swagadelic, and I just dig that kind of stuff because there's a full band behind him. And
It's
even
like what's his name? Pac. Why this?
Anderson .Paak.
Anderson .Paak.
Yeah,
I just forget
he's
his
cool.
name. Yeah.
It's good.
He's come up.
Y'all cold? Am I cold?
I'm
I'm
freezing.
freezing. I feel like
Man.
that's why I brought a flannel. I
Can
was like,
we-
you know,
can
I'm
we,
good. I'm sweating.
I ain't sweating nothing.
Yeah,
I
ain't
sweat in
turn
two places:
AC,
court and
turn
church.
AC up.
That's where I usually sweat.
Not
most.
down.
Yeah, so the hook when I
My
heard that when he
body's
says,
shaking.
"They tell me I was born to lose, but I got a good thing about bad news."
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is like you said, it was almost preaching and gospel, but it had this like I felt like I was in a jazz club when I heard it. And I was like, dude, this guy just has it, man. And
You seen him live or?
I thought I did once. I went to this place down in, and I thought it was
Thought I
him,
did.
but they were playing his song, and the
Yeah.
dude was singing it very well. And I remember being like, I know this guy. And then it clicked when I saw another dude at a jazz club once. I used to go with my old owner to this underground jazz club, and they would just jam. And anybody could go up there and just join at any time. So it's kind of like a drum circle, but with like jazz. And so this dude went up, and I was like,
I love drum circles.
it's not him. It was vibey, but I remember I looked up the song, and I remember being like, damn, dude, this guy's just like Leon Bridges. Check that out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know
nah,
who
he on my playlist. Definitely.
And then there was something else. You said something about what was the guy who wrote that the one jam you were saying Wiz Khalifa. So he did when he did over Empire of the Sun, the Walking on a Dream.
That was one of the songs that actually made me a fan. That was on his mixtape. What mixtape was that?
What's his version called? Where he raps over it?
Let me see. I gotta go through the lyrics.
Like the. Dun, 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 dun. It's from Empire of the Sun, but then he raps over it.
But you know what? I discovered Empire of the Sun because he did that.
Exactly, a
You
lot
know
of
what I
people
mean?
did. Yeah,
I'm like, what is this beat? Like, yo,
exactly.
it
It's
was
different,
crazy. Yeah,
different.
it was crazy.
I saw them live. Empire, that was a vibe. That was mental. It was different for sure. But that's how I got into Wiz.
Yeah.
Opposite of you. So I was listening to that, and then I heard this remix, and I was like, oh. And then I remember Wiz Khalifa, and then obviously, you know, I learned about like Khalifa Kush. Shout out. And then
to champagne.
yeah, exactly. See, you got it. Yeah. And then even that one.
I met Wiz a couple times.
I'd love to meet him.
Yeah, I have too. Actually, I
I'd
worked
love
on
to
I
meet
worked on a
him.
video with him and Travis Scott, the bake sale, and then it's called Pens. It's a bowling alley. It's in Studio City, I think Wednesday nights they have like industry nights.
Bone Alley, yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, so he always bowls there. I don't know about now, but at that point, that had to been like years ago, like close to 10 years ago. He was always bowling there.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but then I used to smoke a lot of weed, and I remember the first time I heard "I Get So High" by Wiz Khalifa, I recognized that beat.
You related to
song,
that.
you know, and I remember being
That's
like,
relatable.
But that song bangs.
the great thing about Wiz Khalifa is like he's like an international star, and a lot of people don't even realize how big his influence is.
He's an icon,
like,
dude.
He's an icon right now. Yeah,
icon.
Modern day Snoop Dogg.
And you know what? The thing
bit.
about him, he doesn't cause no problems with anybody.
He don't
no
flex on
beefs.
nothing,
He don't
yeah.
fuck with nothing but what he's doing. Like, you know,
Taylor
smoking
gang.
weed, fight.
That's his, he just sticks to his Taylor gang.
Yeah, I fuck with that heavy.
He probably
you know
just
what I mean?
stays home. You know what I'm saying?
When you
He's
got
big.
that like neutral, peaceful energy,
Yeah.
people vibe with that for sure.
Yeah.
He's been kickboxing a lot lately.
I saw that.
He's got a trainer.
Yeah, he's jacked.
Still
He's-
really skinny, but you know.
I look at him and I'm like, I gotta start doing some crunches or something. 'Cause I'm like,
Wiz, I'll challenge you to a little kickboxing match.
He's like super cut up, super tall.
Ectomorph.
I used to work with a dude who looked like him, and I swear to God, it was
He's an
him.
ectomorph.
Necromunga.
I used to work with a dude who looked like Wiz, and I thought it was him. And I remember one day I accidentally called him that, and he kind of looked at me, and I was like, and he even had his shoulder length like dreads tied up on top like he does, and he kind of looked at me, and I was like, and he goes, a lot of people say that, and I'm like, that's exactly what Wiz would say if he was like undercover. He'd be like, yeah, a lot of people think I'm him. That's not me.
Is Wiz Khalifa related to any rapper? Hey Google, is Wiz Khalifa cousins with Snoop Dogg or any
I
other
think
rapper?
he's just his protege.
Oh man,
I think Snoop's his mentor. I don't know if he's related to anybody.
Yeah,
I found out that Snoop and Nate Dogg were cousins. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Straight
either.
up did not
but,
know that.
But they are both from LA, so I mean,
Did you guys ever watch 50 Cent's show Power? You guys tune in?
I don't. No, I don't really watch much TV. So.
Well, he's got a season 5 coming out right now. And it's a big deal because have you ever heard of the
Yeah,
Kingpin Big Meech?
Yeah.
Okay, Big Meech.
Yeah, we all heard of Big Meech.
He's out. He's home, right?
Yeah, we know
Okay,
about him.
But
So-
he's in the show.
Well, 50 bought the rights to. Well, let me back up. When Meech was in jail, he sold his story to a lady named Tammy Cohen, and Tammy Cohen was contacted by 50 Cent, and 50 bought the rights to Big Meech's life story. And right now on season 5, Gary O'Neill, you met Gary. He's been on the show. Shout out to Gary. He got hired as an actor on Power because I invited Gary to go with me to Rick Ross's car show, and he's like, I don't fuck with Ross. I work for 50. And I'm like, interesting. Their beef actually entered into my world. So Meech is now being getting called a rat by 50 Cent. Have you seen that? 50's trolling him on the internet, calling him a rat. It's because he knows the truth. Meech, I guess, told on another dealer called Cuffy from St. Louis and got his time cut. So now Meech's story's going to be exposed on season 5. And I'm really excited to tune in to watch. Gary's going to come on the show and let us know what's going on. But yeah, you know, we in America we idolize our gangsters, right? We idolize, you know, these drug dealers, and then when we find out,
country. It's
You
built
gotta
off-
stay
built off of
gangster if you want to survive nowadays.
It's built off of that. America's
That's
built off
99%
of being
of
a
gangsters
gangster.
are-
Like, how you think it came about? How you think we acquired this country?
Yeah, straight up. That's some deep shit.
That's a whole nother conversation. But
I was gonna
I
say,
ain't ready
man,
for that
Matter
one.
of fact,
man.
that-
They
episode
ain't
2.
ready, yeah,
Bro,
they ain't
there's
ready
a-
for that one, man.
There's a
Wait.
show on Netflix that talks about that, how like settlers would come in and they would set up camp, and then the Indians would come by in the middle of the night and just start shooting bow and arrows with fire on them and then light their camp up and start killing everybody.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to build these sticks. And they're like, why they keep leaving the sticks there? And they're like, you know, up in the trees and shit and looking down in the valley, and you see the settlers building tents. And they're like, oh, they got big sticks.
them damn white
Well,
colonials.
That's how they.
Yeah.
That's how they
It's
talk.
funny because
They can't come through, like, these valleys are hunting land. Y'all trying to build a whole village.
That was how they spoke.
That's deep.
Big sticks.
And they worked at 7-Eleven too. They got the big sticks.
Look.
Well, you know, America was founded by, like they always says, like America was founded by a bunch of rich white guys. But the truth be matter was that they were all gangsters.
Yeah,
They were the most gangster dudes around, and they all got together and they had this little idea. And I'm like, that's when, in my opinion, America was most gangster because I mean, even the Washingtons, it was known that they grew like miles of hemp. Like then that was what basically how I believe.
Yeah, they pretty much like they pretty much was in their country and they said, "Fuck these rules, we gonna make our own rules."
That's right.
And like came over here, and took over.
They didn't see any business set up, so they was just like, "Shit, we'll set up business."
Yeah,
Right, man. Well, to create structure and to create like some sort of I guess you could say some sort of ordinance or
government,
something, where
to govern the people.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that you got to be on another level, and that is gangster.
Yeah,
I think, So
it's gangster as shit.
Especially when you talk about like how do they come up with like the amendments, which we're like not gonna go into that, but at the same time like I heard the speaker once say like the numbers of like the fact that we're not just all killing each other and we're living so civilized and it's not just chaos all the time, like it's the numbers are astronomical. Like we could be just living in like the Wild Wild West or even just like caveman style, like kind of a demographic where we're still just there's no order.
Do you own a gun, Steven?
Let's not talk about that.
It's an amendment, right?
It's not under my name, but it's mine.
Oh, well.
No, but all I'm saying is like the fact that they were able to like where we can live civilized, that blows my mind.
God bless you.
But they don't.
Society.
They're looking at it like, how is this possible? Or it's I can't even say that word.
Unfathomable.
Right? Yeah, there we go. I don't want to embarrass myself.
That's a big one.
It's that. When they look at it,
See, this is why you don't go to college. This is why it doesn't even matter to go to college. Go to college if you want to. End up like this.
My brain's already fantastical enough. I don't need the.
It's somewhere,
it's Sunday. Maybe I'll be able to say it on a Monday.
That's right.
But today, it's not the day for that.
I know what you're saying though. We could be like offing each other in like record numbers, just like on a day-to-day basis. But the fact that like there's still some order and like some regiment like that we all kind of sort
what kind of order you thinking?
Abide by, yeah.
You thinking? What kind of order you thinking?
I'm just thinking more so the fact that like, think about this, dude. We're all still wearing clothes because that's evolved. But like, we could be wearing loincloths and carrying clubs and just walking around, just hunting for our own food.
And you say you was Irish?
I'm Irish.
But,
that's what Irish people do.
I think
I ain't doing that.
A lot of that has to do with just the evolution of the laws and everything.
Evolution.
Now it's like in our heads, like this is how we're supposed to live.
Yeah.
But
you go outside of California and laws are a lot more strict. California actually has some of the loosest laws.
You think so?
It's true.
Well, yeah, because they legalized shoplifting. During COVID. They
legalized shoplifting.
Yeah.
No,
shoplifting
if you stole something under
$1,000,
you didn't get arrested or something.
I think that's
Did they? Okay.
So if you go steal an $800 T-shirt, there's just gonna be a police report.
Well, it's a lot of robberies in the Bay Area. They break into a lot of cars and everything. Not to put a bad rep on the Bay Area, because the Bay Area is a phenomenal,
they do.
phenomenal place.
Show me a lot of $800 T-shirts though. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go.
What are the statistics of car break-ins in San Francisco right now? It's decreased, but they say it's how common. In
Norway, they don't have. Norway, they don't have. They don't have life
Oakland, which is
there's no life sentence
phenomenal.
In Norway. So you kill someone in Norway. There's no life sentence. Like you just do a couple, like I think 20, 30 years.
It's decreasing right now, but that's good. Yeah.
There's I know what he's talking about. When you go outside of our realm, there's things that are a lot.
You go to Texas, everyone's got guns on their hips.
Florida too.
Florida, they're tucked.
Yeah.
Texas are on the hip, and I act different. I don't want to. That's. Violence needs to chill out. Everybody chill out. Everybody's good.
Yeah. We still
guns,
got it.
You love guns, huh? You love shooting guns.
I enjoy it.
We're not trying to incriminate anybody here, are we?
No, this is not Vlad TV.
See,
I do enjoy it.
You got a lot of guns, huh? What you doing with them guns? How many people you shot with them guns?
I really do.
Well, no, I like to get people to, share who they are. My dad loves guns. He's got an arsenal. It skipped a generation from me. I don't own a gun.
If someone committed a violent crime and got away with it, you want them to share that too?
Well, you got to be smart. Lefty Gunplay is doing a year in jail because he was he hooped 8 ball of drugs in his butt in the airport. Did you see that?
That's wild.
Lefty Gunplay.
That whole sentence you just said is just wild.
Yeah.
I'm still processing it over here.
That
I
boy
have
said he put
hip-hop
an
trivia.
8-ball in his asshole.
Yep, he hooped an 8-ball of
So
meth
this
in his
conversation
butt.
just took a hard left turn.
Yeah, it
Well,
did.
guns
Let's go
and
right.
guns is the character of what kind of music
Turn
we
right,
make.
right here.
He said he pushed it in with his thumb.
All right, here we go.
It's a little comedy in here.
mean,
Yo.
Do a little comedy.
Yo.
I'm always getting love from the homies. I'm just saying. No, it's funny because like the guns, you got to protect yourself.
Yo,
I get that,
pause.
especially nowadays when things are kind of wild. You got to protect yourself, but same time, like, you know, I hate to see like what I was talking about earlier, like society being reversed in that way, where we're now kind of fearing for our own safety, like kind of more so than we were, you know, say like 5-10 years ago.
I just don't go out at nighttime, man.
You know, because I look at it similar how you said it, but like differently from a different perspective. Because I look at it like how different people like raise their kids and everything. And I see kids that are like, you know, 12, between 11 and 13, and they're like staying in the house. Their parents keep them in the house because they say it's too dangerous for them to go outside. But when I was around that, when we was probably around that age, we was outside everywhere, like all over the city and everything.
Hell yeah.
You know, and there was like no issue. But now, you know, now these parents, like their kids are, I would say we were more precocious back then.
Yeah.
But they're smarter. These kids are smarter, but they're just like
Smarter.
less street smart.
Well, they're from like the touch.
Hey,
touch
Google.
What do they
They're
call,
less street
What
smart.
does
they
precocious
calling it
mean?
the touchscreen generation?
Yeah.
Because they got
You
all
said cautious?
precautious and cautious are kind of on the
Precocious.
same.
Precocious.
Precocious.
Yeah, he like making shit
But
up.
sheltered. They're more sheltered.
We're more precocious. These kids are more sheltered.
Right.
And
They're more
less,
precautious.
we were more. Y'all
Tecacious.
gotta chill.
We're more
We're more
precocious.
precocious.
They're more precautious.
They're more
They're
tech
on the-
smart.
They're on
You
the
know what I'm
internet.
saying? Like maybe more book smart, but
Okay.
they're less street smart.
They got more information at the just the tip
yeah.
of their fingers.
Yeah.
So they don't feel like they need to leave. But remember, like what you said earlier, that's how we knew who.
But they rather be on TikTok.
No, that's how we knew. I saw this thing on Instagram where I said that's true. They'd rather be playing on the internet instead of N64 in it, where there's 4 of us all in the same room. They're now Xbox in it, where they're like on a headset talking to their friend down the street.
Yeah.
But like you said before, I saw this thing on Instagram where it said that's how you knew whose house everybody was chilling at was because you saw all the skateboards and bikes out on their lawn and on their driveway. That's exactly how I grew up, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I was not allowed to have friends over at my house. My dad was a cop when I was a kid. They're like, yeah, we ain't going over there as cops. You know,
That's what's up with all the gun questions.
Yeah, I know,
No,
right?
I don't even know where we started with the guns. How did we start with the guns?
My dad was a cop, so who here, got guns,
He's like
don't
behind
know
that
how
door
we
right there
right?
with a whole SWAT team. Right,
Oh yeah.
right
Oh no, we were talking about different areas with different laws, you know, and how
Yeah,
you
yeah.
act with, you know, when you go to certain places.
Well, there's certain countries where you can't even move a rock or like a shell or something because you'll get arrested. Cause
Damn.
like Hawaii's like that. You can't take like a piece of driftwood or anything. You got to leave it like it's the preserve.
I might butcher this story, but there was a story about this. You know, this woman. She was from America. She went to Dubai. She touched the security guard. She got locked up, and she's like, "Why am I getting locked up?"
Your hands dry.
And then, you know, people in America are like, she shouldn't be locked up for that. And my personal opinion is like, you got to follow the rules.
Respect
man.
their culture.
You got to respect people's culture. You know what I'm saying? And I know that they're probably a lot more stricter than America, how America is. and
They have a
everything.
lot of anti-film laws in Dubai.
Yeah.
That streamer, the dorky streamer kid that was real popular, he got arrested for filming out on the street.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're not allowed to film on the street. You have to have a permit, and even if you have a permit, you have to be on a balcony. I follow Juan G. What's up, Juan G? He's always in Dubai, and you have to film from your balcony.
You got to behave.
Yeah, you got to behave. You just got to, yeah.
And there's a couple countries where you steal and they'll straight cut your hand off. Like one time you steal and they're like, okay.
Get this back.
But Dubai does have Ferraris and Lamborghinis for
you got
taxis.
your hand in their hand.
I want to go to
Yeah,
Dubai.
The Native
I
Americans
want to
are
go there
back
too.
out.
That's like one of my
Yeah.
number one places I want to go to. Dubai.
Dubai.
Yeah.
I want
That's
to
why
go.
you got to get
I wanna go to
the
Ferrari World in
glasses
Abu
with
Dhabi. You seen that?
the
I
cameras
have
on.
not seen that or heard about
Ferrari
it.
World in
but
Abu
now I want to
Dhabi.
go.
It's a giant track, and you can go out there and you can, if you have your own Ferrari. But if you can like rent a Ferrari and you can drive this track, and it's this giant track, and it looks like an adult's Disneyland.
It's just straight for racing.
It's in Abu Dhabi. It's called Ferrari Land, and it's for racing, and then they'll do all kinds of other stuff. But
Don't tempt me because I love.
Yeah,
That's like my number one thing. I love racing, man.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
one thing I do. Like
that's
I
why I
like.
don't drive a fast car. I just try to keep it safe.
You say you don't drive a fast car?
My car is fast, but it's not. If I was driving something else, like my uncle was a stock car NASCAR racer, and so I have it in my blood. But it's not. I know it'll end up badly if I get like a faster car than what I have right now. So.
I got a fast car, but the frame broke, so it's in the shop right now. So when it gets back out, I'm about to be a menace on the street.
There you go.
Probably not like this guy over here, but
Oh no!
Hey,
I don't think anybody drives worse than this guy right here.
Oh no!
Worse or as good. I don't know if it's good or bad.
Well,
He drive like there ain't no lines.
oh
that's
no!
right.
Like there's
Ain't no
nobody here.
lines.
like
There's
blurred
nobody
lines.
here.
It's all over here, blurred lines.
Oh no! I'm a bad driver.
I don't know.
You're not a good one.
I'm trying to figure that out because if you're talented at driving at high speeds without crashing,
Have I ever been late to pick you up?
are you bad or are you good?
Yeah, I think you're good because I never been in a crash.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, the distracted driver is the most dangerous one, and I'm the opposite of distracted.
What?
I'm ultra focused. I'm plugged in. I'm mindful.
What else do you do while you drive?
What else
He
am I
listen to
doing?
Dolph. He blast
I'm blasting Dolph. You know, I'm listening to Dolph. Rest in peace, Dolph.
What's your chess record?
Playing chess.
Mm-hmm.
Right now.
I beat him once. Just sorry, I had to throw that out.
Did you?
Yeah, one time.
Out of how many games?
I hadn't played in like 15 years.
How often do you play? How
I
often do you
I
play?
played like 4 or 5 games. I hadn't played in like 10, 15 years. And
It
then this guy
was-
goes, download this app and play me chess. And I was like, all right. And my car was getting serviced, so I was just like, whatever.
I love chess.
We played
Win or
like 4 or
lose.
5 games, and then he's just whooping me. And then I remember I won one, and it even kind of shocked me because all of a sudden
had to
the
let
screen
him
goes
win
like
one.
victory, and I was like, I won.
let him win one.
And so he was all nice, bro. Let's go again. I'm like, nah, I don't want to end on that one.
End on a high
End on
note.
a high note.
Otherwise,
for
if you
sure.
beat them 5 in a row, they don't want to keep playing.
It was 4 in a row, but yeah.
I played about 6 to 7 hours of chess a day.
Dude,
I play a lot of chess.
where do you get the time?
I
Exactly.
make,
He's
I make-
driving.
Next question.
I make.
That's what I'm. That's what
not
I'm getting to. He be driving. That's exactly what I'm getting to.
He's all, I'm over here like
Yeah.
drive like
You see how I
everybody's.
let him hang
Yeah, that's a
himself?
lap around.
I let him hang himself on that one.
I'm over here like drive like everybody's trying to hit you, and he's over here like drive like everybody's trying to like move their queen into your back row, and I'm like, all right.
Yo, I got a theory that like people who drive safe, like extremely cautious, are terrible drivers because they're the ones always getting in accidents.
Well, if you drive too slow, yeah, it's gonna.
Everybody, everybody, based on my personal experience, everybody I've seen who drives extremely slow, extremely cautious, always gets in accidents.
The law of attraction.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're fearing the accident. And
I think they
they
haven't acquired the skills, the evasive skills.
Yeah.
to play
I
chess
think
and drive at the same
You got to
time.
move with the flow.
Yeah.
Number one, but two, like I'm cautious, but I don't drive slow. There's a slow driver, and then there's like an annoyingly, like cautiously driver where you
Yeah.
see them with their arms out, the steering wheel's at their chest, and I'm just like,
They're
get me
just
away
waiting
from
for
Get
action.
me away from this chick. But you can be a good driver, but I don't think
I don't trust people who drive like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you looking at? Like, why you can't see over the the dashboard? I can't.
How about
can't
the new
trust you.
Teslas? You can just take a nap while they just drive like itself, and I'm like, I don't trust that
That's
either.
crazy.
You know what I mean?
That's how you drive.
I drive with my knees. One arm out the window, and I'm drinking something.
Sometimes I'll try not
Just
to
be
look
right
at like
there,
social
just
media
like that.
because then you got to use the
That's
force
how I
when you're
drive.
driving. You gotta
But I feel like you feel it. You feel everything
absolutely,
around you. Like,
absolutely, bro.
I might be twisting up while I'm driving on my phone at the same
I
time.
do a lot of. It's a bad habit, but I do a lot of things while I'm driving.
I do. I mean, I can't help it. I'm a
Yeah.
busy
Then I
guy.
wake up and I
The
realize
texture
I
in
was just
driving is
dreaming.
what bugs
It
me.
never
You know, when
happened.
you're looking, I'm on the road a lot, and when you're watching people, they're always on their phone. 9 times out of 10, everyone's on their phone. You can use voice activation. So
Or just the
people, get
swipe
off your phone.
Swipe
and you-
texting with one finger. You seen that? Where you just run your
Oh,
fingers
yeah,
over
people-
the
Yeah,
letters?
but they always be throwing the
You-
extra words in that I've never said.
You know what I've been
You know what I'm
hearing
saying?
lately?
Like, they
Hey,
be changing up my whole conversation.
Right. I don't. That's why I don't do the voice texting. Is because then I'll be like talking to somebody like, hey man, I'll be there in 20 minutes. Hey, you piece of shit! Why don't you use your signal? And then it'll go send, and then they're like, hey, what are you calling me? And I'm like, sorry, dog. I just road rage. My bad. You know.
yeah, hey, the other day I was having a conversation with somebody that they work in the education system, and so it's what 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 years
I
ago,
can't believe it's 2020.
5 years ago, what was going
In
on?
the future. 5 years ago, what was going on?
COVID.
A lot of shit.
Yeah.
All right, so a lot of people was getting the COVID vaccinations,
Not me.
I ain't never touched that.
but now it's 5 years later, and the
Right.
kindergartners are going crazy.
Hey, my wife's the only thing that's
The ones that are just getting into school that are 5.
And we're starting to see it now.
They're
as a
horrible.
society,
Some
huh?
wild
That's
statements right now.
that's what he was telling me. He was like, "Bro, they're horrible. They're fighting each other. They're not listening. They're biting. Like they're like little animals."
Mm.
He's like, "Teachers are quitting." I was like, "What?"
bro. For real.
Did you get a vaccine?
I did not. I don't believe
Did you
in
get
that shit,
vaccine?
man.
Nah.
I don't believe in that shit.
No, I got the
neither.
paperwork though.
Oh,
I had a card. I'm not gonna lie. When I wanted to go to shows, I had a
Vegas?
card.
You wouldn't put a
Shout
stop
out
me
to the,
from doing
to the
that.
fake
I'm
vaccine
older.
cards. I had one for sure.
Really?
I did
Absolutely. I
Oh,
did.
for like
Man.
work or something? Or
No, like if you want to go to a club and they're like, show me your proof of vaccination. I was like, well, sure. And I just
Yeah, I'm vaccinated.
Yeah, just like you tell your
Yeah,
girl,
I'm
I got a condom.
vaccinated.
Shout out to my wife. She's the only one who sticks
I
things.
love
in me.
you. Yeah.
he had to bring that back twice.
But well, you know what was funny was I said to her a long time ago. I said, like, the fact that this thing just popped up out of nowhere, and then this, like, now they all of a sudden got a cure for it so quickly.
Oh, and then a couple months later, Joe Biden ain't shit.
Well,
You know what I'm
not
saying?
to get political, but like, yeah, on another level, I felt like I was being fed a lot of bullshit, a lot of rhetoric, a lot of like.
Who was that little guy?
You see what's coming out.
The charge
That's
of
right,
COVID.
dog.
What was his name?
Fauci.
Did you see
Dr.
him get?
Fauci.
Dr.
Did you see
Fauci,
Fauci? Yeah. Did you see that one?
They pardoned him.
They
fucking pardoned him.
ran him down at the airport and had all kind of statistics about how many people he killed. He killed more people than Hitler with his vaccines.
I mean, when you get a pardon like that, like a mass pardon,
And he's disappeared, didn't he?
Well,
Yeah.
he was supposed to be the fall guy. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're talking about vaccines and like people like, fighting in the supermarkets and whatnot. Like, to me, it seemed like it was controlled chaos. Like that was orchestrated.
Oh, definitely.
We've survived though. We did survive.
I stayed home.
To me, and people might have different opinions. It seemed like that fire, the recent fires in Los
That
Angeles
was
were
planned.
orchestrated.
That was
seemed like
planned.
seemed like a land grab to me.
100%.
LA has
Yeah.
water now. Thank God. Thank you,
What was up
Trump.
with that? Why don't you have water? Why did you see the map of the fires? It looked like their
Yeah.
new like plan for their new like apartment
2.0.
complex thing and their little like.
No, it's gonna be
seen
for
it.
the train.
I seen
The
for
train.
the train.
The
yeah,
train, I
seen
heard
for
that.
The
train.
super train from
For the
here
smart
to
city,
San
to
Fran.
build- start the smart city, all of that.
That's what's up,
Yeah.
dude.
Get you from here to there in what, an hour?
Well, then you
30
saw
minutes?
there was videos of people setting fires, and they're just like LA residents just standing around like watching them like filming. And then it's funny because I'm from shout out to Riverside County. Riverside County, they had a video where the dude was trying to set a fire, and you saw like 6 or 7 like residents just holding him down and beating the hell out of him. Like it ain't gonna happen here.
On film,
Whereas
yeah.
LA is just like it's got this different kind of a vibe now where there's so much happening and you don't know what to trust or believe. But like you said, this whole thing where they like tried to lock us down and they shut everything down, that I didn't think I'd ever seen anything like that in my entire life. And then when I started seeing like how many people were affected and dying and like losing money and poor and divorcing, and I remember being like, is this some sort of like a master plan? And what's his name talks about it a lot. He kind of predicted it. Who was the dude who predicted it? I think it was Pitbull. Pitbull had this video where he had said it like
Simpsons probably too.
Simpsons, but a couple years before it happened, he came out and he said, just watch, like when we start like you can't like give somebody a license or a permit to have kids. And so this is the conspiracy theory I heard was that like they were going to try to make it so you had to get approved by the government to have kids, and everyone was going to get like a thing. Because if you're just like whatever, like
COVID was crazy. They were locking
if,
out gyms.
if you're
locking
unfortunately
everything down.
like either not living so well or you're like not responsible, you're on drugs or whatever, like they don't want you having kids, but those are the people who are just kind of having them just because of whatever. So when the overpopulation conspiracy theory came out and I heard about that, I remember being like, wait, what? And then they had said like our population's increased so much
That's what they're using as an example.
this is a decrease in population to like get rid of some people.
Come on now, you know how much land
I was like, what?
is unoccupied in
That's
this
what
country?
but then that's okay.
Even
so-
in California?
But that falls into like, okay, if we
Like,
start
yeah.
if we start building on that out, like, are we going to lose oxygen? Is the ozone layer going to go away? So it's this whole thing where I was like, I don't smoke anymore, so I'm not high enough to like go into this for sure. But I
Sounds
kind of
like an
got
acid.
it. I was like, are they trying to like decrease population? Are they trying to get rid of some dead weight? Is that what's going on here, dude? And then you start seeing all
There
the
has to
football
be a-
players, like all the football players and soccer players, like falling down and collapsing on the field, and they're like, "Oh, he was heavy into the vaccinations," or "Oh, this chick mysteriously died." No
was
foul.
saying, who was saying all this? Or
This is on the news. There was
on the
2
news?
football players who collapsed in the field, had like cardiac stuff.
Who was on who was in the presidency during this time?
This was
Joe Biden.
This was during the COVID thing.
Yeah,
Joe
so
Biden.
I read and watch a whole lot of stuff, and I mean I just been reading and watching that the Democrats had a whole cadre for propaganda. They got a whole section where they pay people just go make up shit.
You heard that they threatened and paid off Mark Zuckerberg. He was on
Yeah.
Rogan recently. He talked about how I
Yeah.
got threatened, I got paid off, and
Yeah,
I
that was interesting.
to promote and to like restrain certain like content on social media because everybody was on social media during COVID. There's
Remember the
nothing else
fact
to do.
check whole thing?
Fact
about-
checking, that's
yeah.
right.
Zuckerberg was on Joe
Independent
Rogan the
fact
other day and
checkers, you
said
watched
that
that
wasn't
too.
me. That was Biden. He finally revealed it.
I don't know about you, bro,
Facebook.
but I believe like half of it. Did you watch the whole thing?
Well,
with Rogan?
Zuckerberg's a known liar.
He took a payoff.
But yeah, that is interesting to find out. Saying, "Hey, sorry guys about the fact check about COVID. That wasn't me. That was Joe Biden."
He got threatened.
Yeah, they're like so, that's why you just gotta lay low, man. The way I was raised, you're supposed to stay out of the way,
But you
lay
know,
low.
I also read or heard that Bill Gates invested in a bunch of masks before.
Right,
Why don't you bring that up?
Before
this is the last thing I'm gonna.
pandemic ever even happened.
So all the people who are moving money around before it happened, you heard about that, like the insider trading.
Yeah.
Certain people moving stocks around. The one thing that I heard, and because I cut hair on the side, I'm a barber, and shout out McLaughlin Salon. My wife and I have a salon in Corona. This dude, I did his hair a bunch of times. A little Indian guy. Check this out. This guy deserves a Nobel Prize. Quick story. This dude created a technology where he could turn like dirty puddle water into like drinkable water for like third world countries. And he was just getting ready to like launch his like beta testing, and COVID happened. So he's in not only is he in patents and copyrights, but he's also in import export, right? And so very cool dude. So he was telling me about it, and I said, dude, this is amazing. And he goes, right when I was about to like launch it and start like moving things around, COVID happened. And remember all the ships that were out in the water where they weren't letting stuff come into the country and the import export? So they told him they refused you can't send stuff all over the world. And he says, well, this is the perfect time. Like this could save lives and whatever. And so they halted his whole like momentum. And he told me this story where he said, I was curious to see what was being imported and exported into countries. And at the time it was only the masks, those little blue and white masks, and the vaccines. So then because he's in patents and copyrights, he looked to see who owned like the copyright and who the primary shareholders were on that blue and white mask that you saw everywhere during COVID. It was Gavin Newsom, like our governor. And that company grossed over $5 billion during COVID. And I remember being like, why isn't that on the news? Why are we talking about that for a second?
Well,
You know what I mean? Like that's some deep shit.
Yeah,
dude.
Newsom shut down all the other wineries except for his.
And he had the Thanksgiving party. You saw that photo, right?
He shut down all the other wineries.
Yeah, I
except
saw
for his.
that.
Can we get Gavin Newsom out of office?
Oh, dude, Sheriff Bianco's running
Gavin
for.
Nuisance.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom's.
Shout out to Sheriff Bianco for
Gavin
Riverside County.
Nuisance.
He's running for governor now. He was the dude who was the head of the sheriff's department in Riverside County, and he came out on the news and he said, "I refuse to like arrest people for fighting over masks. I refuse to shut down business and use resources." And so he kind of stood up, and he became like a local celebrity. He's running for governor now. So
Hey, was that the same dude who said there was someone who running in the government party who said you can't protect yourself if I guess they're passing a law in California where you can't protect yourself if someone runs up on you and tries to like rob you.
Well, shit, in that case, what's up? What we doing?
Like if you
what we doing?
Yeah, they do have
like if
strange
someone
laws out
tries to
here.
like attack you in the streets and you're trying to protect your family, if
can't-
the altercation ends up in their death, then you will be prosecuted.
no,
yeah,
this is
no,
the dude.
that's-
He's passing out CWs like left and right. He wants everybody to carry.
Yeah.
He said protect yourself, but he was the guy who basically stood up against like the government and said like I'm not going to use like city dollars and like county dollars and
We
resources.
might be talking about the same dude. I don't know his name. I gotta see it.
Sheriff Chad Bianco has this mustache. He's kind of a cowboy looking dude, but
Yeah, I think he said the same thing.
Next
when
level
he
gangster.
was pissed off. He was like, you can't protect yourself against people who are actually breaking the law.
well, okay. So when someone
everything.
breaks into your house and,
Yeah.
you shoot them, if you don't ask them, hey, why are you breaking into my house? Oh, to kill you. Okay, bang. But if they say like I'm breaking in because I'm hungry or whatever, and you shoot them, you could be prosecuted. Even
have
if
a-
you shoot them in the
That's crazy.
back of the head, like all kinds of
That's
stuff. So I
crazy.
can't even defend my own home.
But like, you came in here hungry, so I fed you.
I got a buddy doing
Slugs.
18. I got a buddy
It's
doing
that
18
escargot.
years. 18 years. Name's Billy the Kid. Batman is his nickname because he was getting carjacked and he hit him with a bat and did brain damage to the guy, and then he got 18 years.
Yep.
For
I heard all
defending
kinds of
himself.
stuff.
For defending out here.
There was
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
If a
so-
dude breaks into your window and he breaks into your window to rob you and he cuts his leg on the glass on your window, he could sue you.
what?
I swear to God.
the fuck outta
I
here.
swear to God.
Are
And
you
he'll win.
serious?
He'll probably win. I kid you not, dog.
I was breaking in.
Married with Children, that show in the 90s, they had an episode like that where the dude fell through the skylight and he was a burglar.
I remember.
And he fell through and he broke his leg and he sued Al Bundy in court and he won. And I remember like a couple years later when it happened a couple times in California, I remember being like, holy shit. Like, so I can't even like blast this fool if he comes through my door and I'm just trying to defend me and my wife and my house and my home, everything I worked for.
So he
That's why I have a
walking-
blow
so
dart.
He's stepping on your roof where he should not be. He falls through it on his own accord.
Oh, yeah. And on the episode, he had like a
But
crowbar.
he falls on your accords.
He had a ski mask, a crowbar, and like gloves on the episode, and they were trying to like not like take that into like consideration. They were
That's
trying
how
to
I
like.
walk around my neighborhood.
And so yeah, that's what he said. He's like, I always carry that. But I mean, to me, I talked to a cop once when I was buying ammo at an ammo shop, and this guy, I said, hey, there was a gang fight out in front of my house the other night, and like, we heard gunshots. My wife and I hit the deck. I didn't want to rat, so I didn't call 911. But like, I was like locked and loaded, ready to go. And so I said, what do I do there? Like, can I go outside and like, you know, pop off a few in the air and say like, hey, get out of here? And he goes, no, because if that bullet like comes down and lands on somebody, you could get prosecuted. He said, if somebody tries to break into your house, you got to wait for them to break all the way in. And then if they like do like, what do they call it, forensics, and they find out that you executed this guy, like you could get serious time. But he also said, wait for him to come all the way in or shoot him and then drag him in. And I said, dude, did you just say that to me? And he goes, yeah, shoot him before he starts, and then drag him in before he starts bleeding. And I was like,
That's bad advice.
whoa, dog, like some next level. Or he said, you know what? How about this?
Nightmare.
He said, if you cap this dude and he goes down and he's not all the way dead, he could testify in court. So you gotta. And I was like,
You know, my pops told me
that's
a story.
next level shit.
My pops told me a story about someone who broke in a house when we was young, real little.
You should be the only one telling the story.
He told me he seen someone breaking in, so he went and grabbed his gun, and he just stood there by the door and waited till they broke in, and he was like, "Come on in."
Yeah.
Sit right there.
That's like a
Sit right down.
Yeah, just the
That's
cock of the
a
shotgun would have put the fear of God in me. So I mean, I get it, you know?
That's the reason why I have
Nah,
sleeping issues.
you can't run away
Shit
now.
like that.
Nah, step in.
Come on in, yeah, let's figure this out.
We're gonna attract good things and good sleep. You know, I do have sleeping problems. You know,
Yeah, we can change the subject if you want.
No, it is interesting. It is interesting. You know, I do have problems sleeping, and that's one of my fears. Is I don't like getting caught off guard. You know, so sleep with one eye open.
Absolutely.
You know, I got a good conscience, good clean conscience, but there's hungry people out there. You might have not done one wrong thing to nobody, but they might be hungry, or they might think you got an extra watch for them, so they're going to come through your window. How are you going to do? What would you do?
So that's why you need to live in a 2-story house where you upstairs. So when they come in, you got a headshot.
They do sell those non-lethal guns though.
Yeah, what's that gonna do?
Yeah, but they're gonna piss somebody off.
You shoot them below the kneecap, so it's what's that? What do they call that when you shoot them? It's not attempted murder.
A
Assault with a deadly weapon.
Yeah.
Well,
Assault with a deadly weapon.
Get some bear spray.
I mean, if this fool's all hopped up on something, he's gonna come at me, and you know, I even bought a higher caliber gun just to make sure that like this guy goes down. But also too, like I used to have like swords and axes and knives all over my walls, and I remember being like, I don't know that I could shoot somebody, but I could get ninja. You know,
A shotgun
come
is
out of my
the
bed
best home
naked, grab a
defense weapon.
samurai sword.
Well,
start sniping somebody,
it's not illegal to own a crossbow.
That's right.
So it's not, so you can crossbow someone and drag them in your house.
Death by impalement.
I've been watching a lot of Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Make sure you grab the arrow, because I hear
make sure you got there. You
that's
don't
what's
want
up.
them to turn on you.
You're gonna need a couple arrows. He might not go down with the first one. You gotta.
Hey, them arrows can be more lethal than a bullet, though.
What's up? That's why what's his name? Such a big bow hunter, Ted Nugent.
Yeah.
Stranglehold.
And you know that.
Yeah, he's a big bow hunter, man. He's all about that. He don't really have too many guns. He just has.
Hey, how do you think Isaac Newton would kill people if he could use science to kill people?
Sir,
With a letter opener.
Wow.
What you said with a what? A letter opener?
A letter opener. I mean, back then they used, whatever blunt object, man. I mean,
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT.
Speaking of letter openers, I discovered that they don't teach how to write in school anymore to younger kids.
no cursive anymore either.
Yeah.
That is the wildest thing ever.
Yeah.
What was your question, Caleb?
Oh no! So this question for everybody.
Oh, okay.
All right. Gay son
Oh no.
or thought daughter?
Oh no.
What's a thought daughter?
Oh no.
Oh, you said hot daughter.
He said thought daughter.
What's a thought daughter? I don't know what that is.
That hoe out there.
I never heard that before. I'm sorry.
Well, welcome to the club.
I mean,
I gotta figure out a way how to love
Gay
my
son
children
or thought daughter?
regardless.
I feel like I don't know.
They're a lot of work, man.
I don't have children. Well, I mean,
Gay son or thought daughter?
blood children.
Gay son or thought daughter?
I would have to figure out a way to love my children some type of way.
I'll tell you right now, if I was a father of a daughter and she was, thank you for teaching that, by the way, thought daughter, I don't think I could handle that. I'd be killing, and I'd be like Bad Boys 2 or Bad Boys 3 where they Reggie, come to the door. Who Reggie? Remember that? You trying to take out
I'll
my
definitely
daughter?
be like that, because I don't think I could. But the thing is, during the growing up process,
Respect my girl. Yeah.
you have to teach them how not to, become ways that you wouldn't, deem acceptable.
For sure.
But what if her dad's on Instagram with his shirt off, at a gym
That's
showing
different.
him?
That's different. That's why she is a thought daughter then, right there.
Right, yeah. So
Well,
we got to
then
be careful
lead-
what
lead
we
by
do. 'Cause they're
example.
That's right.
When
Lead by
I'm a
example.
hairdresser and I got gay friends, And I probably
How many?
I could probably handle that a lot better. I'm gonna be honest with you. If we're being real, to answer your question, gay weddings are fun. So I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. I went to a gay wedding once, and they had ecstasy like at everybody's like table for dinner, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. I remember they were like, it's about to get crazy. And all of a sudden, like lights went down, like lasers and like disco balls, and I was like, oh damn, they're about to turn the hell up right now. Like this is different. You know what I mean?
They gonna tear.
They
turn something up.
They about to start shaking
ass.
That's
That's right, dog. But I mean, I don't know. That's a tough question.
What if it turned to a giant yoga class and everybody, all right,
next
guys,
question.
front lunges.
Next question.
Next question.
Next question.
I hear you. Oh man.
Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. You know, we're here. We're a bunch of interesting, charming, guys.
I need a drink.
I don't know if you're.
I don't even drink.
Do you want to take a break?
But I need a drink.
Take a break real quick.
Yeah.
All right then.
Something like that.
We can sign off, everybody.
Oh yeah, we.
Do you want to sign off? Or you want to come back?
Can I just say one thing? Just my one little flex. I got my grills in. This is the first episode.
Oh.
So, Chris, I don't know if we can come in a little bit, but I was the first person from Johnny Dang to get all GIA certified grills.
Okay.
And it's never been done before. I had to wait a long, long time, but we got them in. And
get a nice little close up of those.
it's
those
a honeymoon ghost set.
No, it might be somebody in the Bay Area with
Flawless
them.
gang.
Somebody in the Bay Area or somebody in the South.
It's never been done.
Might be some black hood nigga out there with.
They've never heard of GIA. They think you're saying CIA. CIA certified. What?
No. You crazy, bro.
Certified GIA.
Nah.
Flawless gang. We're
Right.
Diamond Boys now. I'm going out to Paul Wall, his birthday party in a couple weeks, so we'll be out there. I get to meet a lot of my favorite rappers. I'm excited. Mexican OT, Paul Wall. Shout out. Happy birthday, all them boys. And I recommend it, man. So if you want to go get your grills, One Tooth or Outlay or, just permanent, or go see Johnny Dang, you know what I mean? It's fun, I might mix up a little bit. I'm going to throw some blues
That's
in
an
there.
experience.
Right.
Yeah,
Makes looking in the mirror interesting.
Or if you don't want to see Johnny Dang, you could just head down to the Slauson Mall. You know what I'm saying?
I had a friend that just go there. Yeah, they're famous too,
actually.
actually. With all the bars.
Go down to the Slauson Mall. They're going to get you a nice grill too,
That's right.
Or whatever type of jewelry you want.
That's right. Yeah, you don't have to go see. Yeah, that's right. That's right, brother. I have a friend that just went there. It was all with iron gates and stuff, right?
Nah, it's green. It's a big green building. I don't know if they got iron gates because I be in and out. I don't know.
You talking about the Slauson Flea Market?
Yeah. There's a dude in there.
Hey, mall, flea market, whatever.
It's a big mall. It's like called the Slauson Mall.
I sometimes call it
GIA, CIA, same thing.
I call the swap meet the mall sometimes.
I call it the mall. Like they got a bunch of jewelry, bunch of clothes, they got some chicken spot in there. You know what I'm saying?
It's all about trade and being a pirate.
They got a bunch of stuff, and I love it. So
find your little treasures.
Go down
and
there, get you a grill, get you some jewelry. It's top notch.
Do you want to do like little signs off and shout outs?
We're gonna finish up here with Infinite Art, one of my favorite artists right here. This is Infinite Art, and it's a trip.
He looked like he was influenced by Salvador Dali.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a little Vladimir Kush in there too.
Yeah.
There's a handful of people doing it.
That nigga microdose
I was just
all
gonna say,
day, every day.
Speaking of handfuls, a handful of mushrooms might help, right?
You got some mushrooms too?
Well, I've thought about wanting to do it too.
I don't do mushrooms.
And there's this app software. It's called Endless Paper, I think. So I think I'm gonna start doing this too.
Rob Zombie's got some good artwork too. If you want to check it out, it's similar to this. It's fun.
So I show this to a lot of people. They're like, "Man, I'm dizzy." You guys get dizzy?
Well,
I was a artist on paper and canvas before I was a sonic artist. So I just like art in general.
Right.
I dig it.
Yeah, you guys are artists, man. Using the words and everything.
I got to be on mushrooms though to really.
Somebody say they getting dizzy and everything. You gotta question their artistry. A lot of musicians out here these days can't even be called musicians.
Let yourself
because
go.
it's not what they
artists.
say, Blue. Fathomable. It's not
unfathomable. It's unfathomable.
Yo, hey, can you show that D'Antor Drake story? I think we already.
No, you didn't. Just go into the mouth of a
I think we
line.
had it on YouTube earlier. Oh, okay. Will they be able to hear
That's
it?
crazy.
She on
maybe roll it out during the credits or something. Then I don't know. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
This is Jesse Martin. I'm
I
trying
know,
to
it's
get
all
Jesse on the show. It's a trip.
This is like endless artwork where it just
It's
goes
called
on,
Infinite.
on
Infinite.
and on and on and on. Pirate ship.
All
If you
the
like,
loss of a
subscribe,
line.
share, comment, we appreciate you tuning in. Levi in the studio. We're in 4K in LA. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it.
We're gonna give everybody a shout out. Let them. What do you got going on in your life, bro? Talk about that. Where do you want people to look up? You. Go.
We already did.
Damn,
do we already do
demanding, ain't he? What's it?
He's
Right
a
on.
he's a
No, I got some music coming out, man. Y'all stay tuned. Instagram. My name Kaleb. It's gonna be in May. Love.
There you go. What about you?
Man, they already know. I ain't
What if they don't know
I
though?
can't even come in with that mentality. No, I got a project. I got a solo project that I'm working on here and there with living life and everything. My name Boi Jones. You can Google me. You can look me up. You probably heard of me. I worked with a lot of people.
Word.
But I'm just working on a project right now. It's gonna be my second solo project in like 4 years. Since I went solo from the Ugly Face group. So y'all always check that out. I don't really like to talk too much about myself.
That's
in
cool.
in a promotional way. I just like to do the art. You know what I'm saying? Do
we'll
the
put
work,
a link
make
in
the
to buy
music
your
and
art.
everything.
We
Yeah.
want people to buy and support your art. You could
You
always
gotta be humble though. I like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
For
you know
real.
what I'm saying? Sit down, be humble.
if you support. How about you, Steven? What do you want to sign up?
Oh, I already said like I have a salon, McLaughlin Salon is my last name. It's Irish Salon. It's a small studio in Corona, and then I got my little lads group that I'm coming back with, and then that's basically it. I'm always up to something.
Support live music. Go check out the lads. You know what I mean? We appreciate it.
The
you know?
lads.
You got the are those Louis V's? Oh shit! Shoe
Oh,
check.
yeah.
Those are pretty.
All right,
But-
shoe check. I got
but
my
them-
black and blues. Everybody
Them is
shoe check.
alright, but it's the
Ah, you got the shroom
it's the
guns.
shroom
Okay.
socks though. It's the
Okay.
mushroom socks.
I'm feeling
All
it.
right then.
You know what I'm
Caleb's
saying?
got the J's.
Shout out to Chuck Taylor.
That's the Chucky.
Taylor gang.
Yeah.
Taylor gang in the building.
Taylor man gang. Hey, no, it was good talking with you guys. Though. It was a good time. Thank you
Yeah,
for having us.
likewise.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.